steam, I tell you. Clearly, this ain't round, but we try. First, we'll do the dal. We'll taste the dal. Why do you need to go to the gym? You can just make chapati dough. Use these throughout the week. Shall we do a taste test? Hi everyone, my name is Vidya and welcome to week 1 of meal prepping for the week. You'll notice that I like to do a combination of ingredient prepping that'll help me cook fresh meals for a couple of days, because let's be honest, the best part of cooking is the cooking time, not the prep time. So if I can do that now, it'll help future Vidya. Batch prepping, one meal that you can then freeze using super cubes to essentially make my own freezer meals, as well as batch prepping my breakfast. That way it's one less task and one less mental load to think of. All the things that I'm doing today are ingredients that I already have in my fridge, freezer, pantry. So I have my handy dandy iPad on the to-do list for today. Prepping some garlic, ginger that I'll be using throughout the week. I'll also be showing you how I batch, meal prep, and freeze my chapati dough for my breakfast. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday will be PBJ sandwiches. Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be doing yogurt parfaits, which I prefer to do on the day of. So you'll see that in the coming days. For dinner today, we have pesto Bowtie pasta, some traditional Taylor Farm salads with leftover veggies that I have in the fridge. It's sort of like a dump and shake salad. Dice some sweet potato that I'll be using tomorrow for a sweet potato curry, as well as a chaat masala onion salad. We have a lot on the plate today, so let's get cooking. Leave 2 bags as whole, so that if ever I just want to use whole garlic. And this half we will essentially mince. If you need recommendation for a food processor, this KitchenAid one, it is so good. It has been my ride or die for the last 6 years. It has a chop mode, it has a puree mode. If you, like me, are a big weenie when it comes to chopping red onions of all sorts that make you cry, just pop it in here, put it in chop mode, and you will thank me later. I think this is good enough. I'll also be doing the same for the ginger. So halves will be minced and the other half will essentially just be stuck in the freezer. I'm not going to take the skin off because that's where most of the nutrients is. So just wash it nicely and then just wipe it with a paper towel. Sometimes you just want to squish this down a little so it gets nice and even, but also doesn't fall off as you're putting it in the freezer. And I will pop these in the freezer and use these throughout the week as I'm cooking. While my pasta is cooking for dinner, I'm also going to be making my chapatis on the countertop. So when the water starts boiling like this is the perfect time to add your pasta. I'm also going to throw in the broccolini as well. we're now going to let it come to a boil and cook, obviously. So many ways of making fresh chapatis, but I find this is the easiest and what works for me. I'm literally on my tippy toes. Why do you need to go to the gym? You can just make chapati dough. Once it's become like this and it's sort of rough, this is the best time to cover it and let it rest. Then I give this a stir. I'm gonna cook it for a good 5 more minutes and then it should be perfect. Steam, I tell you, this is the only cooking we'll be doing today. Lightly toss it so you're not breaking the pasta. The combination of balsamic vinegar and basil pesto goes so well. Before I add salt and pepper, I'm just gonna taste test this. Well, it's good. I want to finish up all of these tomatoes. And the last few ingredients to tie it all together. Just a little goes a long way for healthy hair, nails, skin. I was supposed to add red onions, but I'm not gonna add red onions. With some salad and some garlic bread. No! And now for the best part. Shall we do a taste test? Oh yeah, wait. I actually made some homemade chickpea croutons. This right here is an entire meal. We have our basil pesto pasta, we have our salad as well as some garlic bread. I'm going to enjoy and eat my dinner. I am just starting little dinner prep for today. Menu for today is to cook 6 chapatis that we froze yesterday. The second thing, make our sweet potato curry using the sweet potatoes that we diced yesterday. You'll see how I actually repurpose the sweet potato curry for during week 2. I'll essentially be making a sweet potato curry toasty and drizzling on some Maggi hot and sweet sauce. So this is a little lovely reminder to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel so you do not miss when that video drops. Sweetness from the sweet potato curry balances so beautifully with spiciness from the sauce and then obviously the crunchiness from the toast. The last thing is to prepare a big batch of Indian dal. I already have a spinach moong dal recipe up on my YouTube channel. Now that recipe was a 1-pot stovetop method. Today I'll be showing you how you can do the same recipe on the Instant Pot. The leftovers of the dal that I prepared today will be put in super cube container to essentially make my own freezer meals. Anytime I go weeks sick or I am not in the mental load or capacity to physically make and prepare food, I can simply take it out of the freezer, heat and eat. It is as simple and delicious and easy as that. Eat it on some rice, or this may seem like a weird combination. What I love doing is just heating up some warm dal in the microwave and then dolloping on some plain yogurt. Coldness of the yogurt with the warmth of the dal goes. Try this and let me know in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's get cooking. I'm gonna do like half of these onions. So I would say a quarter of a big red onion. Now I don't have any Thai red chili, so I'm essentially just gonna omit that and just gonna substitute using regular red chili powder. But if you do have Thai red chili, that sort of adds as a spice component to this recipe. For beginners, I really recommend going 1 dish at a time as opposed to doing multiples. And the second thing that's also helpful is laying out all the ingredients that you need to make this dish. Because once we get started on the stovetop, it's easier once everything is laid out. The purpose of this week is essentially using what we have in the fridge. For the sweet potato curry, obviously we have the diced sweet potatoes that we prepared yesterday. For tempering, we'll be using extra virgin olive oil and mustard seeds. Our aromatics is our frozen garlic, ginger, and our frozen red onions. Some perengayam, also known as hing in Hindi. And I did say earlier to also add red or Thai chili peppers, but I don't have that in my freezer. So I'm actually going to substitute with dry red chili. Holy Trinity spices for any Indian cuisine is essentially red chili powder, turmeric, coriander, and cumin powder, as well as some salt. And this is probably the best time to mention that back in 2014, I actually prepared a South Asian Indian spices and herbs glossary of the 24 most common spices you will find in any Desi kitchen. The link is in the description box below where you can buy and purchase your handy South Asian spices and herbs glossary. But if you join our exclusive email community, you'll receive a huge Kickstart guide for free. Now that Kickstart guide includes a handy conversion chart. I also provide a grocery list for 3 CTD recipes, as well as linking them to recipe videos. This gives you the wonderful option to either watch the recipe video or read the written recipe. And lastly, it also has our free South Asian spices and herbs glossary that I just mentioned. Then the link to join our exclusive email community is in the description box below. So now I'm gonna turn the heat to a medium-low setting and allow the mustard seeds to start popping. When you see this happening, a little bit splutter, this is when is the perfect time to add your aromatics. I recommend to keep it at a medium setting. You essentially want the rawness of the ginger and garlic to fade away so that it becomes a lovely, delicious aroma. Turmeric, red chili powder, coriander powder, cumin powder. Give this a good saute. The spices have beautifully married one another. Perfect time to add our sweet potatoes. We're gonna give this a nice stir and allow the spices and aromatics marry with the sweet potato. You need to see this charring, perfectly burnt at the top. That is very nice. If you can easily bite through it, that's an indication that it's nicely cooked on the inside. I'm gonna add some paprika powder, add smokiness as well as heat. This method of steaming it by covering with the lid as well as putting it at a medium-high setting allows for the sweet potato to be boiled and at the same time the bottom to get nicely roasted. Let's do a little taste test. All right, we have, in my opinion, the most perfect bite. I can get this camera to focus. Oh, so good. What I love about this dish is the simplicity of it. If you want to get more into Indian cuisine, vegan, vegetarian friendly recipes, this is definitely going to be your go-to. If you have some curry leaves, cilantro, as well as parsley or fenugreek, those 4 herbs would go perfectly at this stage to sprinkle a little. And just before serving, squeezing on a little bit of lemon juice or freshly squeezed lemons, that'll actually help cut any of the leftover grease that's in the red onions and matches beautifully with the sweetness and spiciness of the sweet potato curry. This is exactly what you want, a nice and squishy, and it shouldn't be hard on the inside. Like this one, it is squishy on the outside, but I can feel sort of like a little bit of a lump on the inside. Just gonna let this rest covered for another couple of minutes. So the only thing we'll need to chop is the onion. This was from the onion that we used yesterday. This is fairly a large onion, so I'm gonna use a quarter of it. Just like our sweet potato curry, we want to make sure every ingredient is laid out. So first and foremost, I have 1 1/4-ish cup of moong dal and masoor dal. I've washed and rinsed this in cold water twice. And our aromatics will be red onion, garlic, and ginger. A whole can of tomato paste. If you have fresh tomatoes, you can throw that in. And for our tempering, we'll be using extra virgin olive oil, and to this we'll be adding hing or asafoetida in English, black mustard seeds, cumin seeds, holy trinity spices for any Indian cuisine, which is turmeric, red chili powder, cumin powder, and coriander powder. Obviously some salt. is the perfect time to add your aromatics. So I'm gonna throw that in. And allow the steam to cook and wilt the onions a little bit more. If you notice this getting lumpier, means some of the moisture is evaporating a lot more. So all we're going to do is sprinkle in a little bit more water. Also prevent from any of the tomatoes and the aromatics from burning. The ventilator is on ceiling, and you can manually do this for 10 minutes, or what I like to do is just put it on rice mode, which is also 10 minutes. This is the consistency our dal should be like. Don't be alarmed, it is red because of the tomato paste that we added, but it's a nice color. The dal is thoroughly cooked. The dough is nice and soft. It's pillowy. What I like to do is roll out all my chapatis on the surface and then put it on the tawa. There's like this running joke in the Desi community where you don't get married unless you make round rotis. Just thinking about that now, because clearly this ain't round, but we try. And just like that, we ended up making a full 3-course meal for dinner. I'm so excited to plate all this up and do a little taste test. So I have my Instant Pot Tomato Dal right here. Also have some roasted sweet potato curry, as well as our homemade chapatis. First, we'll do the dal. We'll taste the dal.
Round 1.
Perfect bite.
Round 2.
Oh, that is so good. This, the sweet potato curry, it hits a spot, trust me.
Final round.
So you have the sweet potato, chapati, and the tomato dal. If you were to truly ask me, I'd put a little bit more spice in the sweet potato curry, but overall, 9.5 out of 10. That's a pretty high rating for Vidya. I am gonna go enjoy my dinner, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Dishes are all loaded in the dishwasher. This is the last bit that I need to do. These are the super cubes, and I'm just gonna write little labels on them.
शिद्दत से पाया तेरी मोहब्बत को यादों में तेरी